I'm so tired.
Leaving somebody on scouting range is next to useless.
And I love, personally,
region scouting. Although there's a lot of regions.
And I still don't know the answer. I don't know the answer.
It is, as you can see here, 4:23 in the morning. And I sat down today to record a video testing scouting in Football Manager. I am still somehow no closer to having the answer. By the end of this video, we will have some semblance of an answer. So bear with me. So I have my original idea. And this took a very long time to execute. The original idea is this. We start as Manchester City, okay? And at Manchester City, there are 15 scouts. What I wanted to do was test what affects knowledge accumulation for scouts in Football Manager, right? So we have these 15 scouts, and we take 5 and we give them 20 in everything and 10 in one thing, and have them not be able to speak the language of the region they're going to, which in this case is West Africa, so French. Bonjour! And then we take 5 other people, give them 20 in everything and then 10 in one other thing when it comes to the mental attributes, and have them be able to speak French. And then we create a couple of people that are control groups. You know, these are just scientific nerds where we have 20 in everything speaking Spanish, 10 in everything speaking French. Sorry, the Spanish is later. It's late. And, you know, we have all of these scouts that would be good at stuff. As you can see, when we go to our scouting department and you look at the mental attributes, they are all locked and set up to be able to scout particular things. You can see they're all locked and set up, and they have their names, no French, and that was all great. And then what we did was we made sure I couldn't get fired, and we sent them all to West Africa for 2 years on hot prospect scouting to see if they would find anything and or accumulate any knowledge, which sounds like great. We're sending them all to the same spot, so it's very controlled. And I created a database where the Premier League was playable, every other league was view only, literally every other league in the world, and we used a large database, literally just preset large database in the top right corner. You know, you just go up there and large database, and I simmed it forward 2 years with 3-month autosaves so that we would be able to go to each 3 months and see how the knowledge progressed. The issue is that there was no knowledge progression. This dude was in West Africa for 2 years, and he's got like that much knowledge of Cote d'Ivoire. And that's it. And this dude was all 20. This was supposed to be the beast. This dude's all 20s at everything. Everything. I even went in here to the staff details, and we went to staff attributes and made everything in there 10. We didn't realize that we were supposed to change these things too, but obviously that didn't have much of an effect because this is still the best guy here. And that is the amount of knowledge in 2 years that you got in West Africa. Like, this is insane. That's insane. So I spend all, you know, this takes a lot of time. This is manually going in and typing in all of this stuff. But I just really wanted to know. I was tired of not knowing when you guys asked me about the scouting. And all of these people just came back with almost no knowledge, right? And it's not, and I'm thinking the league should, I mean, he's got knowledge and all this other stuff he had before. Turns out you can't edit knowledge in the in-game editor, which stinks. So we had to make sure that we had a team that had scouts that didn't have a lot of people with Africa knowledge, which we found. Obviously, everybody we sent didn't have any Africa knowledge. That's not what we were trying to test. But like, everybody came back with just a little knowledge in Ivory Coast. Obviously, the other guy had more knowledge in Ivory Coast, but 11% after 2 years is not exactly something to scream from the rooftops about. Like, this is insane, right? They were in West Africa the whole time. And if we go to scouting and knowledge and you look at like what West Africa is, we had every single freaking person scouting in West Africa. And this is where our knowledge is at after 2 years. None of these other countries, it's like they just hung out in Ivory Coast. Then you see the reports, you're like, okay, nothing happened. And you click on it and you go like, well, where did they go? They didn't even accumulate knowledge of these countries. Like, okay, he went to Djibouti, went to Uganda. Like, he saw these countries, these national teams. So you look at all this and he sees all these national teams playing against each other. I mean, this is crazy, right? Like, this is absolutely insane. It's 1% knowledge of Ivory Coast after 2 years. So I got to thinking, there's no way I could have tested it right. I'm a big believer in region scouting. There's no way it's gotten that much worse in 2 years. I'm obviously very tired. I want to get my thoughts in order because I need to record this part of this video now. What I've done is created, these are the assignments, right? It's literally hot prospect, ongoing, Western Africa. And I always am a big proponent. I mean, you can see, look at, here's me telling you that region scouting is great.
And I love, personally, region scouting.
Region scouting was great. It's how I've built my great teams on stream, which of course, if you want to, I'm not too tired to plug the Twitch. Watch me whip. I'm thinking I have to have done something wrong, right? And you can be sitting there thinking too. I mean, I look at this is my job. You guys have other things to do. And my job is to dedicate my time to trying to figure this stuff out. And so this obviously didn't work. It felt like a freaking bulletproof plan. The random people that they've scouted, whatever. I'm thinking it's the database. So I loaded up a new database. Right? This is what I've been doing for the last couple of hours. And this new database is the entire full database. Every league on playable, every player in the game, over 438,000 players. And what I've done is literally gone through and some ungodly reason you can't copy and paste people. So I've gone through and we have created our scouting staff again. Okay, we've gone through everybody. And this time I didn't, so this is a better test. Anyways, we didn't overlook the general hidden attributes. We didn't overlook the staff attributes, except for here, apparently. I think I need to go through and check them all one more time. It's just going to be one or two typos. And at this point, I cannot stand for that. But we have, everything's uniform. And we have our adaptability, speak Spanish. And what we've done is we've loaded up a full database. I've tried to assess every potential issue from the last test. So this is a completely full database. Player availability, not an issue in terms of being able to scout them, to accumulate knowledge and find players. We want scouts to find more players. We want scouts to gain more knowledge. We are also going to North South America because it's a region that speaks entirely one language, essentially. It doesn't have Brazil in it. And it is also a region with league in it. Colombia. It is in North South America. The Colombian League is in the game, 2 tiers, fully loaded. So that is going to help us be able to scout as well. And something, okay, we do that. And Peru is also, they only have 1 league, but they're also playable. They're also in South America North. And so we're trying to fix all the issues. West Africa, we had a smaller database. Now we have a full database. We've got playable leagues. There's like no excuse for them to not be able to gain knowledge. I've made myself unfireable. And what I'm going to do now, thankfully, is I'm going to go get some sleep. I'm going to simulate this. When I wake up in the morning, we're going to see anything has changed. We're going to do it the same way. 3-month autosave, sim forward for 2 years. That's a reasonable amount of time to accumulate knowledge. None of the scouts that we've selected have any South America knowledge. There was 1 person on the staff that had Brazil knowledge. We've not included him, even though Brazil's not even in that, just in case it has a small effect. That's what we're going to do. And hopefully when I wake up, we do actually have some scouting test results to show you, or we don't. And this whole video is essentially just never region scout again. Maybe. We have to have results, right? Like there's no way. I have typed the number 20 and 10 too many times. Like too many times for us to not have results. Copium. I'll see you in the morning. Get to go to sleep. What? So the simulation actually took 2 days, so I couldn't just wake up and do this. It took the entire next day as well. So we're recording this the day before the video is going to come out. I had some free time, so I took the beard off and left the mustache. I do not understand why you're fixating on that. But the full database simulation forward of 2 years is done. Let's take a look and see if there's any results at all. I also think I was too tired to cover this, but I wanted to let you know that the scouting parameters were the lowest level of potential ability possible, and that's it. I didn't even set an age range. So this is like the most open possible scouting parameters, which means if they don't find players which might contribute to their accumulation of knowledge, then I don't know what else you're supposed to do, because this is unrealistically open. They have nobody. Let's look at just the best person, right? They have 2 reports. Let's just look at knowledge accumulation. Okay, speak Spanish, give it a 20. There we go. Okay, at least we've accumulated some knowledge of Colombia and Peru, but that has everything to do with the fact that those leagues are playable. And so I think we might have found just a very useful piece of information that if you're doing region scouting outside of areas with playable leagues, I don't think you're going to get knowledge accumulation. I mean, we have no other part of the North South America, which would be, you have Venezuela, Ecuador. There are legit players that come from those countries. We're not accumulating knowledge there. And this is the best possible scout. And after 2 years, we've got, what is this? 39% in Peru, 100% in Colombia. Let's look at, say, one of our control groups. So somebody with 10 everything doesn't speak Spanish, and we see basically nothing. So based off this control group, being able to speak Spanish helped a little bit. This is after 2 years. 2 years in this region. We're seeing nobody that accumulates any knowledge outside of the leagues that are playable. That scares me. Let me dig into this and we'll get a couple of takeaways, because it does look like we have some variance in the amount of knowledge that's been accumulated. The person with less adaptability and all the same every other attribute actually has more knowledge of Peru now. The one that couldn't speak Spanish has a significantly smaller amount of knowledge. So the only thing you can gain knowledge of are leagues that are in the game, one apparently, and leagues that are playable. Colombia's got 2 leagues playable, so everybody's accumulating more knowledge there. The other thing that we seem to have proven conclusively is that speaking the language makes a significant difference. Everybody except for the person that had 20s in every attribute had less than 50% in Colombia and Peru if they didn't speak Spanish. If they did speak Spanish, I'm talking at a fluent level, like if they did speak Spanish, then they had 100% in Colombia. Every single person had 100% in Colombia and was higher in Peru. We didn't see any big differences in terms of which attribute being at 10 made it worse. I will say discipline looked pretty important. Even the person that spoke Spanish only got to 26% on Peru. Most of the other ones were over 30% if they had 10 discipline, so that's just something to look out for. The other thing that I created these control groups to try and figure out is if judging player ability and potential actually affects the knowledge accumulation, and it does seem to, because the worst performance out of any Spanish-speaking person in the whole test was our 2010 control. Judging player ability and potential was still very low in the knowledge department. It just was. Obviously, we would love to do a statistically significant type of experiment like this in the future, but this is definitely interesting and is going to inform decisions that I make and hopefully inform decisions you make as well. And as the channel continues to grow, maybe I'll buy a super processor so we can do something like run this test 100 times, but I need to actually use my computer for stuff. We're working on it. We will get there. I'll put it on my Christmas list. We cast a wide net, and being able to speak the language, very freaking important. Very important. And region scouting in areas without playable leagues, kind of useless. Region scouting is a no for me.